Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Roll call, please.
Kushner, not present. Osborne,
Here.
Latari. Here. Jones. Here. Euler.
Here. Motion to approve regular city council minute dated September 22nd, 2025.
So moved.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes.
Thank you.
Adoption of agenda.
Looking to adopt the agenda as presented.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you. We have three proclamations tonight, which is fantastic, and we will do the Breast Cancer Awareness Month, October 2025. Who's here for that?
I invited some ladies. I'll stand up with you.
We also have pens back there on the table, if you'd like to take a pen, back on the sign-in
Stand with
table.
you. I'm a survivor.
Okay.
Yeah, more than qualified.
Thank you. Whereas while considerable progress has been made in the fight against breast cancer, every year breast cancer accounts for about 30% of all new cancer cases in the United States women. And whereas according to the National Breast Cancer Foundation, 1 in 8 women in the United States will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime. And whereas in 2025, an estimated 310,720 women and 2,800 men will be diagnosed with invasive breast cancer. And whereas throughout the month of October, Breast Cancer Awareness Month aims to promote screening and prevention of the disease. And when caught in its earliest localized stages, the 5-year relative survival rate is 99%. And whereas there are currently over 4 million breast cancer survivors in the United States, whereas breast cancer awareness can mean different things to different people, and it goes far beyond wearing pink ribbons, it's a chance to show our support to those whose lives have been forever changed by this disease. Now, therefore, I, Bruce D. Euler, Mayor, along with the City Council of the City of Warrensburg, Missouri, do hereby proclaim October 25, 2025 as Breast Cancer Awareness Month, in witness whereof I hereunto set my hand and seal this 13th day of October 2025. Thank you. Buckle up, phone down day proclamation. All right, how are you? Good, good. Oh, good job. Good to see you. Buckle up, phone down day proclamation. Whereas the Missouri Department of Transportation and the Missouri Coalition for Roadway Safety are challenging drivers to buckle up and put their phones down. And whereas the challenge is simple, when you get into any vehicle, buckle your seatbelt, and if you are the driver, put your cell phone down. And whereas 40% of traffic fatalities in Missouri were unbuckled in 2024. Whereas traffic crashes are the leading cause of death for people between the age of 15 and 20, with distracted driving being one of the primary causes. And whereas by buckling up and putting down your phone, you will do your part to help make Missouri's roads safer and save lives. And whereas, as the mayor of the city of Warrensburg, I encourage citizens of Warrensburg to join the more than 55,000 people and 758 businesses that have pledged to make their roads safer for themselves and others by taking the Buckle Up, Phone Down challenge. Now, therefore, I, Bruce D. Euler, mayor of the city of Warrensburg, along with city council, do hereby proclaim October 29, 2025 as Buckle Up Phone Down Day in the city of Warrensburg. Date is this 13th day of October 2025. Oh. Or a proclamation for National First Responders Day. Don't be afraid of me.
Oh, I'm not afraid.
I figure somebody more important to be saying that.
Boys stop fighting and we're turning this car right around. I understand.
And I doubt if you all stick around after this proclamation, my guess. But we'd like to say thank you to all of you, all the departments for Bird Fest. It was fantastic. Both Public Works, Dave, you guys were out there for Police Department, Fire Department, 911, EMS. Thank you so much.
Public Works.
Went really smooth. It was fantastic. I hope it was nice and quiet for you that evening. So it was a great event. National First Responders Day Proclamation, October 28, 2025 proclamation. Whereas first responders, including public works professionals, firefighters, police officers, emergency medical technicians, 911 operators, paramedics, and other emergency personnel stand on the front lines of our communities, selfishly serving and protecting the citizens of Warrensburg in time of crisis. And whereas first responders respond swiftly and courageously to emergencies, often putting their own lives at risk to ensure the safety and well-being of others, whether natural disasters, accidents, medical emergencies, or public health and safety threats. And whereas it is in the public interest for the citizens, civic leaders, and children to gain knowledge of and maintain an ongoing interest and understanding of the importance of public work and other first responder efforts in their respective communities. And whereas the year 2025 marks the 7th annual National First Responders Day, sponsored with bipartisan resolutions in the United States Senate and House. Now therefore be it resolved that I, Mayor Bruce D. Euler, along with the City Council, do hereby designate October 28, 2025 as National First Responders Day. I urge all citizens to join with the American Public Works Association and government agencies to pay tribute to our public works first responders, along with law enforcement, firefighters, paramedics, emergency medical technicians, 911 operators, and other emergency personnel, and recognize their substantial contributions to protect our national health, safety, and advance quality of life for all. In witness whereof, I hereunto set my hand and seal this 13th day of October, 2025. Thank you. Dave, get some sleep this week.
We're all on the way, so we get you to squeeze in. Everyone's here first.
Like you can tell.
Thank you. Thanks. Thanks. Thank you. So who won the dog contest downtown?
Oh, yeah.
Huh? Yeah, it was one, yeah.
Fire department.
Scrappy, right?
Yes.
Scrappy one.
Aurora won People's Choice.
Right.
Aurora, yes. She's a doll.
Was it, Ann Gibbs?
No, Rick and, Rick Zoom, what's her name? Rick and, Julie Finn, who own Legends. She's the gin doll.
Item 6. Phil's waiting. Presentation on safe streets and roads for all, SS4A. presented by Phil Adlich, interim Public Works Director. Thanks, Phil.
Thank you. Evening, Mayor, City Council members. I'm just going to go over the SS4A program that we have. Safe Streets and Roads for All. It is a federal program focused on reducing traffic fatalities and serious injuries. For the city of Warrensburg, the Safe Streets and Roads for All program will provide a strategic framework to develop a comprehensive safety action plan. This plan is designed to identify high-risk areas, engage stakeholders, and implement targeted safety improvements. The overarching goal is to create a safer and more accessible streets for all users, including pedestrians, cyclists, and motorists. By participating in the SS4A, Warrensburg demonstrates its commitment to proactive safety planning and aligns with the nation's best practices in transportation safety. Our goal is to reduce tragic-related deaths and injuries through strategic planning. We aim to make the streets safer for all users. We're going to look at the strategic objectives that guide our safety action plan. The safety action plan for Warrensburg is structured in 4 key component or objectives. First, involves detailed analysis of the crash data to pinpoint high-risk locations and patterns. Second, it emphasizes robust community and stakeholder engagement, ensure the plan reflects the local concerns and priorities. Third, the plan includes a comprehensive review of existing city policies to identify gaps and opportunities for embedding safety into all of transportation projects. These objectives collectively support a data-driven, community-informed approach to improve road safety in Warrensburg. The crash data is going to give us a clear picture of where and how incidents occur. Some of the data we've already looked at. So between 2020 and 2024, Warrensburg experienced a total of 1,724 crashes. These included 6 fatalities, 42 serious injuries, and 244 minor injuries. The most affected corridors were Business 13, Business 50, and US 50, which accounted for a significant portion of these incidents. Rear collision were the most common crash types, followed by right angle and left turn collisions. There were 32 incidents involving vulnerable road users, pedestrians, and cyclists. These statistics highlight the need for targeted interventions in specific areas and underscore the importance of designing safer infrastructure for all users. Cornerstone of this will be community, or for the cornerstone for the SS4A will be community engagement. Engaging in the community stakeholders for the safety action plan. The strategy includes online tools as a community survey, such as a community survey, interactive mapping activity, a dedicated project website. These tools are designed to gather input from residents, stakeholders about safety concerns and priorities. The plan also involves stakeholder meetings and public open house to present findings and solicit feedback. Outreach efforts are led by the city and supported by Burns and McDonnell and the Technical Advisory Committee that we've put together, which includes representatives from multiple organizations. We've got Chamber of Commerce, Fire Department, Main Street, UCM, Warrensburg R6, and of course, Police Department, and a couple others on the committee already. We've had one meeting and we're having multiple more. We will be having demonstration projects. I know that in the SS4A grant application, There were some named, but going through, we've decided to look at analyze the data and then come up with projects towards the end. So we're developing projects after we analyze that. Hopefully make them the most impactful. Here's a look at the implementation timeline. So we've already started, oops, went too far. The safety action plan is scheduled for implementation from October 2025 through March 2026. Milestones include launching public engagement activities, refining crash analysis, initiating policy review, developing the draft safety action plan. January the city will host a public open house and finalize demonstration projects. February will focus on stakeholder engagement and obtaining federal approval for the selected projects. The final safety action plan is expected to be submitted March of 2026. This timeline ensures a structured and transparent process, allowing meaningful input through analysis at each stage of the project. Your engagement is vital to the success of the SS4A program, and hopefully we can make Warrensburg streets safer. Any questions?
Have we done this before? I don't remember the SS4A.
It was presented to you earlier with McGuire. It's one of the grants that Burns and McDonald's was able to acquire for us. It's a cost share grant. Right now, the $350,000.
So it can be used for,
So we have Burns and McDonald's as the engineering firm that's helping us with this program and implementing. They presented a TAC, the Technical Advisory Committee. We've started that, and they are doing the one who's analyzing the data. They are the ones who are helping us with the website. We have the website, or on our website, we have the survey out there for citizens to go and participate in. It is under Public Works, Safe Streets for All, or the Safety Action Plan. So everybody's encouraged to go. Not sure how well it's been advertised.
I saw it on the city social media and shared it a couple times, so.
Good.
So SS4A has been around for a little while, and it can be a two-step process in terms of developing the plan, as Phil described, which in and of itself is a plan that we then can factor into our future designs. But then that's kind of the first step in being eligible to apply for additional grants to fund specific projects in response to what comes out of the SS4A planning. Given kind of the economic climate and change in administration, we'll see how grant funding shapes up for future applications. But this is step number one, and it does have standalone benefit whether we get a grant or not.
How long do you think the survey and the map, which is very cool, the interactive map, how long are you planning to have those be open for the public? Oh, great. Okay, great. All right. If anybody hasn't used it yet, and the survey is really easy to take, and the map is really easy to use, you can highlight, pinpoint a place that you feel is unsafe for some reason related to transportation. It's not anything and everything related to safety. It's transportation related.
Just certain areas.
Yes, right, exactly. So, and it's just easy to report it and have it recorded as an area of concern. So I would just encourage folks to get on there and play around and see that it's really easy to participate in that. Okay.
Any question?
Fine.
Thank you very much.
Thanks, Bill. Thank you.
There's no action required. This really was just intended to be an update for you as we're putting information out to the public. We wanted you to be aware of kind of what was
So
behind it.
item 7.1, First reading, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into an agreement with Flock Safety for the installation and use of license plate recognition cameras for public safety purposes, presented by Chief Andrew Munsterman.
Evening, Mayor, City Council. For you this evening, we have an ordinance, letter and an ordinance presenting regarding to, block safety. It is the LPR system, camera system that assists, police departments all over the country with investigations. It is, being funded by the Blue Shield grant that we applied for. It would be funded with that. It's a $50,000 grant. We're looking at putting 15 cameras throughout the city, 4 live downtown as well. The city manager and I have went back and forth and have put together all kinds of different information for you for your viewing pleasures. That way you're very well informed.
And we
Of
appreciate
what
that.
we're
There's a
looking at
lot of
doing.
information.
Yeah, it's a lot of information. I think both were overwhelmed with the pros and the cons. In my opinion, there's a lot of pros to it. That's my opinion. If you look at it and see what all we've presented to you, I'm not going to go through the whole letter because it's a lot, but what I would like to add is before making up any of your minds for or against, if you look at investigations that it has already occurred and assisted Warrensburg PD with. Over the past weekend, we had 2 juvenile individuals go missing. I don't know if you realize that or not, but they went missing and we had a great outcome to where we were able to locate them. Those individuals were located clear in Manhattan, Kansas. Now, we were able to locate them because we had a hit on flock safety in Johnson County. But as it went on from Wednesday into Saturday, we ended up having a hit on their vehicle, on the license plate in Manhattan, Kansas. So that assists us in having a positive outcome. If those type of outcomes are negative, at least give us somewhere to look, and that would at least give us a place to look to start investigating. So that's what I have. Any questions or follow-up questions? This is just the first reading, so we'll be bringing it back to council a couple weeks or a month, I guess. So
I'm sure we all looked at our agenda, and so we have like 274 pages tonight, and you have 170 of them in there. So.
There was a lot of
credit to
reading.
the city manager. The city manager did a lot of research on this, and
Major Fiddler was in there.
Yes,
I wanted to ask you about the third paragraph,
Yes.
page 157. No, I'm teasing.
You saw, I can't even have my file up here. It's falling off. So, if you have any questions or would like to follow up with questions after tonight, you can, email me or let me know.
I do have lots of questions, actually. So, so one of the things I want to make really clear is I don't have any concern about your integrity, chief, or your officer's integrity. I don't have any question about the clear fact that this system helps solve crime and helps bring kids home. I don't have any doubt about that.
Sure.
My concern is on behalf of some of the folks who've spoken to me about the potential misuse and the invasion of privacy that some people feel like a constant recording of their whereabouts is an example of. So that's my overall concern. But I do have some real specific questions, and I've actually got 3 pages of questions. So it might be easier for everyone else involved if you and I just have a meeting about that. Because I don't want to torture everybody else, but there are some concerning sentences and phrases in here. One of them, and I apologize, I was reading this late into last night and during the day today, and so I didn't make a good note, but one line said something about they will track in case a potential crime might be committed. Not only when they know that a particular crime has been committed.
So that potential crime is when it actually occurs. When the potential crime actually occurs, then we can start tracking and looking at how it occurred. And but we'd have to have a case number regarding to that.
Okay. Anyway, I have lots of questions. So
And on the misuse and that type of stuff, law enforcement gets black eyes all the time, correct? There are bad officers out there, but there are way more good.
Yeah,
99.99% of officers are good throughout this country, but there's bad doctors,
yeah,
there's bad lawyers,
Yeah.
bad everywhere. Everything in your life can be misused at one point in time.
Yeah.
But then if something like that happens, we have policies to handle that and address those issues and will address them. We're not gonna take it lightly.
yeah,
We have that now with NCIC and mules. I mean, officers have that access to them on a daily basis.
right.
And the tracking being tracked on a daily basis, they're not being tracked. The license plate and vehicle is getting a picture, not the person individually. And it's public street, it's a public right of way. There is no expectation of privacy on the roadway. License plate's not owned by the person, it's owned by the state. So if you like traveling our streets, then that's part of the world we live in nowadays, so.
And again, my concern is not about your police department.
Sure.
My concern is whose information being shared with and under what circumstances, and how can we really guarantee our citizens that their information is not going to be misused by others, not by the Warrensburg Police Department, but by others who have access to it. And so I tried to read every single line of everything that was in here. There's one thing that I would request, if possible. The terms and conditions of the contract were, it looks like printed from a PDF, and not every word is in that. And I want to be able to read, and I want to make sure every citizen is able to read every single word of that. I know that sometimes when documents get changed to PDFs, in the print view, it looks like everything's going to print fine, but often words are cut off at the bottom and the top of the page, and that's what's happened in that terms and conditions. So I would just request that we have a clearly, easily read terms and conditions that's not sideways, because that's how it is in the document, that it's a traditional letter orientation, and that every single word in that terms and conditions is available to me and to anybody else who wants to read through it.
I apologize if that happened.
No, that's all right. I've done that many a time. It's what the PDF reader does when you print it. So all right, I'll make an appointment with you and we can chat. I appreciate you.
And
Thank
if
you.
I-
Anyone else? Any other questions?
One suggestion, I guess, I'd appreciate the questions and you're wanting to not take everyone's time, but in the interest of kind of everyone being informed, what we may want to do is take your questions, respond to those questions, share the questions and the responses with the rest
Okay.
of the city council, just so that
I'll
they're,
try to go as quickly
you
as
know,
possible.
aware. I'm not saying you necessarily have to do it tonight, but if you're
Yeah.
willing to share it with us, we can be sure that they get the same information.
Great, I will do that.
That way they're,
Perfect.
aware as well.
I'll do
The reason you got so much information is a recognition that it's nationally, it's a hot topic
Yeah,
and wanted you to make a very informed decision as the city council.
I appreciate it. And I know I've said it already, but again, it's not about you. It's not about your officers. I know that because I'm pretty sure it's going to happen, that when these are implemented, especially in conjunction with UCMs and others, clearly it will solve crimes and clearly it will help you catch the bad guys. I don't have any doubt about the efficacy of the system or your officers' professional integrity. That is not my concern.
I appreciate you at least considering it because I started researching it back in 2017 when they first started coming on, and I was over the investigative bureau at that time. What an amazing tool for
Yeah,
investigations.
yeah,
So
yeah.
thank you.
I understand there's 14 cameras already. Is that right?
It's listed, I believe there's 3 at Cahill,
Right.
there's 2 at Lowe's, and was it
9.
9
UCM.
at UCM.
Yeah.
So
And just as clarification, those are private, not city or
Right,
police
sure,
department,
right.
but they're in the community. too.
and they're in some of the ones at UCM's in the city right away, and they're the ones that assisted us in the drive-by shootings that we had. So
One other thing of note, we talked previously about doing this first reading at this meeting and intentionally doing a second reading on another date. So that's the way that we've formatted this. And then we had some conversations individually with you about the way public comment works. So if anyone wants to give you feedback, they'd have the opportunity to do it this evening during public comment. But the mayor and I spoke about your second action, which will be November 10th, would be the agenda date. You might want to consider taking public comment as part of your consideration so that they can give you feedback between first and second reading before you act on second reading. But that is that's certainly not required. That's certainly at your discretion as the governing
I would
body.
appreciate that. That's what I would prefer personally. I don't know about everybody else, but
Yeah, I think it's a good choice to
You
give
need to be
people
able
the
to hear
opportunity to
people.
speak up.
Any other questions?
Not tonight. Thanks, chief.
Have a great evening.
Item 8.1, an ordinance authorizing the city manager to enter into a 10-year agreement with Axon for tasers, dash cameras, body cameras, cameras for the interview rooms, a drone, and evidence storage, presented by Chief Munsterman.
Good evening again, Mayor, City Council. For you as ordinance allowing the city manager to enter into a 10-year agreement with Axon. This will address our needs for new tasers. We're using refurbished tasers as of today, and a lot of them are going out of service. So that's just one portion of it, but the dash cams, body cams, we're just looking at packaging it all together so we can actually budget for a 10-year process, have replacements in that budgeting process. The interview rooms, that was with our G-Tech system as well. That solves that for the 10-year process as well, instead of having to look at it every 2 or 3 years. Plus they have warranties on them to where they replace them. Same with the body cameras. Drone, we've looked at many different aspects of the drone. They're all expensive. None of them are cheap, but this keeps it all in one package. None of this is cheap. I understand that. However, it's time to get our officers in the right equipment, and I'm ready to move forward with it. That's why we put first and second reading on it. I appreciate everybody's consideration on it and the thought of the money side of it. So
If you wouldn't mind, real quick, just a kind of a recap of officers' efficiency with something like this, where you
So, okay, number one, you go on a traffic stop, right? On that traffic stop, the most dangerous thing you can do as an officer is on a traffic stop. As you're walking up to the car, you're thinking about not only handwriting the ticket later on that you have to handwrite,
Mhm.
but while you're walking up to the car, oh, I better push on my body cam. Now, actually with G-Tech, the body camera does come on with the lights and lights on the camera. But with Axon, if you're not in your patrol car, if you're assisting another officer, if you draw your taser now, the body cam doesn't come on, or if you draw your weapon, it does not come on. So the officer has to push it on, push the button to make it come on. This eliminates all that, all the thinking. They're still thinking, but they're not thinking about their equipment side of it, right? So that helps on the efficiency side. But most importantly, it helps they're confident in their equipment. Being an officer, look, I work the football game on my Friday night. I don't go out and work without my vest on. Now, I'm working on day to day in and out of the office, but if I'm getting out and getting in the weeds, I got my vest on. I don't feel comfortable without that vest. I don't feel invincible with my vest on, but I feel confident in doing my jobs. I know I got a good quality vest that the city provided me. One of the top, if not the best vests that they can supply. So that's what we're looking at doing. Same with body cams, same with tasers, all that stuff. So we're just looking at getting them the best equipment so they can be confident doing their jobs. So,
The other thing that in having worked with Axon, the integration of the video from body cameras and drones and the ability to get and video sent to us and entered into evidence, and then
the redaction side of it.
the redaction and the report
The
writing.
report writing. So
Right.
some of that I forgot. Thanks, city manager, for bringing that up. Like on the body camera or even the dash cam, everything that's recorded, it will dictate into a report. I'm interested to see how all that works. It's pretty exciting to me because just last week, one of our detectives spent basically 6 hours interviewing people. And in those interviews, he comes back to the office and he's got to type all that out. Well, it was all on their body camera, it was all recorded, so they could watch that. This system's supposed to do it for you, and it does, is what, Major Filler went to, I think it was Braymore. And he saw it and actually worked, and he said it was amazing. And actually, city manager, we weren't looking at doing that side, he's like, well, let's see what the numbers are, and grateful for him, because he's thinking, future, that's future, right? We got AI now, I mean, I've done a lot of paperwork in the last 3 weeks. Well, it's not just my brain working anymore. A lot of it is my brain, but I wish I had AI in college. I can tell you that. So, but anyway, it's pretty amazing stuff with that. It makes their jobs more efficient and it cuts off the time on it. And actually, they got it broke down in the contract how much time it can save with the report writing and all that stuff. But it integrates together, like he was saying, it is going to give us a option for a real life crime center. Speaking of your cameras, where we can put it all together and we can have it in the office and see what cameras are doing throughout the city and have, if there's a crime occurring, we can see that crime that's occurring and go handle that crime. If you have a Ring camera and would like for your Ring camera to be integrated into it, what I've been told is you can do that. I have not got into the weeds and dug into that side of it yet, but supposedly that's possible, so.
So as your officers are out in the field and something is going on at headquarters, you can see their
Yeah, I
camera?
can pull up on their camera if, and log into that system, same with their dash cam, I can see what they're doing from the
Okay.
office, so.
And then, it automatically, the body cam and the other cameras that are on,
They talk to
equipment,
each other.
they just automatically come on when you turn your lights on, or your siren, or
If
you.
you roll up on scene, which GTEC has some, GTEC's our current camera system, okay? It has some of that capabilities, a car rolls up, they'll turn on the other car or the other body cameras, but Axon does that. And if you draw your weapon, it's got a, it's kind of, what I've been told is like a magnet that goes with each holster, so it can transfer from holster to
Mhm.
holster if we get new guns or new holsters. When you draw that weapon, it automatically turns the body camera on, and if you're an officer standing over here, it'll turn their body cameras on as well, so.
And then later, as you're looking at the body cam video, if officers arrive on the scene at different times, it'll synchronize all that video. So first officer's video will be playing, second officer shows up, it'll just sync up with that and you'll see two perspectives in synchronized time.
And your new ticket writing, your new ticket writing software,
Yes.
when is it gonna be in and does it coordinate?
So,
with this.
Digiticket, we're in the process of researching that still. We're trying to get some final figures, back over. We had a conference call when we were, it was approximately 3 weeks ago when we got the green light to go with them, and, that guy reported something back to us about the pricing. Well, when it was all said and done, the pricing's not far off. It's pretty well right there, but, it will talk to our system, Zerker, which houses all of our reports and houses our cameras, all of our digital evidence. It talks to it. It talks to Encode as well over at City Hall. We're looking into Intergov yet, whether or not it speaks to Intergov. And I believe Barb, we got the phone number to the guy for Intergov.
Yeah, I've talked to Reynolds and, yeah, I gotta talk to.
Was it Brad? I don't remember his name.
I can't remember his name.
But we're trying to get that all to coordinate and talk together. So,
And,
Intergov is the code enforcement side of things, so they
Okay.
could enter their information into the system as well.
and if we go with the flock system, will that also be in,
So
coordinated?
on the Axon side of it, they're in discussion on it. I don't, like, if we have the real life crime center, as of right now, I don't believe it and Flock talks together because they're kind of competing with each other on
Oh.
LPR and camera system
Right,
stuff.
okay,
So,
all right.
I just had a couple of quick questions about the drone. And so looking through, looks like they call it Axon Air, if I understand correctly. And so I want to make sure I understand the pricing. I see, the just under 240,000 a year for the contract, for the 10-year contract. And so for the drone itself,
the 33,
is that a one-time
That's a
I
year.
mean,
I
that's
believe.
yearly, it's gonna.
That's for
it's-
4 licensing as well.
Right, because there's
For
3,
4
right?
pilots.
Okay.
And I believe the drone itself, don't.
No,
Don't
that's,
quote me
I
on
don't,
this, even though.
there's a lot of
you're-
numbers.
You're quoting.
I'm stopping.
I believe it's Idaho's is possibly the drone, UCM's drone, Ken's is Idaho's. They actually went with a different drone initially, and the licensing was such a nightmare is what was relayed to me, through that company. And their pilots, that when they end up going with Axon, they said it was seamless.
Yeah.
They said it took, with the other company that they had, it was like 6-month drawn out process just to get licensing and the pilot stuff. Axon will take care of all that for you.
Yeah, I saw that.
Basically, they integrate it all, get your licensing, get your pilots, and make it pretty seamless is what is the package being sold to us, right? That's.
Yeah, sure,
So-
sure. And that makes sense. I mean, there's several things related to the drone.
And we
Let's
looked
see.
at like a Brinks drone, that's what the sheriff's office has. There is all kinds of different prices out there, up to $80,000-$90,000 just for a drone.
Yeah,
So it's pretty difficult to get
Yeah, well,
apples to
they-
apples on that stuff.
sure. And it needs to be much more. It's not the Walmart drone.
No, it's
So,
definitely
but
not the Walmart.
that just under 240,000 a year includes everything, right? Includes the, whatever the drone itself and, okay. And generally, what are you expecting to use that drone for?
If we get call outs for missing persons, active investigations.
Missing
Or,
kid.
and when I say active investigations, could be possible narcotics surveillance, that type of stuff, but it's gonna be active investigations.
Yeah.
They're not just gonna be
No.
flying the drone every day
For
and
fun, yeah.
violating people's space.
Sure.
Now, what I will say is same way with Flock, what we've had, council and I have discussed, I've been waiting for them to, we haven't discussed this, Adam, but I've been waiting for them to require search warrants for drones. It will not surprise me for the airspace, but it's the kind of same way on Flock. That's one thing. I could foresee them going years down, in the years down the road. They could say, well, you gotta have a search warrant to get all that information. Okay, we'll get a search warrant. It's like what they did with trackers. Back when I worked narcotics back, it was about 12 years ago. We could put a tracker on anybody's car when we had active investigation involving that person. Well, that car is their property. That's their property. So I don't, like with Flock, I don't foresee them ever getting that done for a search warrant on it. But if they do, they do. Now the airspace, that's your property. How far up does it go?
Right, yeah,
Right?
that's good.
So-
And 2 examples that I've seen it used are barricaded subjects, or, when you've got an active shooter
Sure.
and you're trying to kind of size up the situation. And then, in my last community, we had a shooter that fled and had gone into the woods and into a forest, and you're able to, find them rather than trying to go in on foot.
We've had individuals flee from vehicles in pursuits to where we got perimeter set up, and they'll activate the drone. And the county will wait for the county's drone or wait for the UCM's drone to come and assist. The last individual that was the young kid that was missing down Lake Ridge. We waited for county's drone to come, and they were coming down to assist, and same with UCM. So it's gonna give fire department ourselves
Right.
another tool to use a little bit quicker than having to wait 20-30 minutes. Sometimes our pilot might not be on duty, and we might have to call him in, so it might take us a little bit, but gives us a little better, quicker response time if everybody's working at that time. So
So it's one drone, but you said 4 licenses, so.
4
you-
pilot license.
So you'd have 4
We'll have
operators.
4 operators and we're looking at having it, one of our lieutenants to oversee it. And then, we have 1 investigator that's pretty interested, and then I believe, 2 from the patrol side, 1 night and 1 day. So we'll kind of have all aspects covered, but that's still under discussion of who's actually interested. Are we gonna have a process to see who's our pilot or not? So.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Chief.
Thanks, chief.
No problem. Maybe.
Motion to move to second reading by title.
Way to get on that.
Thank you very much.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes.
An ordinance authorizing a 10-year agreement with Axon for tasers, dash cameras, body cameras, cameras for the interview rooms, a drone and evidence storage. This is for adoption or rejection. Osborne,
Yes.
Latari,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Item 8.2, an ordinance amending Article 4 Wildlife Management, Section 28-75C3 of Chapter 28 Public Health regarding hunter education requirements for authorized managed deer hunts of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Warrensburg. That's a long title.
Yes, it's gonna be even longer. Good
Presented by
evening.
Chris Steele, Parks and Rec.
Yes, thank you very much.
Yeah,
Good evening, Mayor and council members. As stated in the memo, this is an amendment to the resolution to authorize the managed deer hunt for the city of Warrensburg. On September 22nd, 2025, an approved amendment to the resolution was adopted under Section 1, Article 4, Wildlife Management of Chapter 28, Public Health. Thus, Section 28 through 75C3 is deleted in its entirety, hereby amended to read as follows. All hunters born after January 1, 1967 must provide proof of completion of a hunter education course approved by the Missouri Department of Conservation. So this amendment is also included within the city of Warrensburg deer hunt, our rules and regulations that will be covered in person at the mandatory meeting and for the managed deer hunt on October 21st at the community center, and I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
Don't have any?
No,
I
No
don't.
sounds good to me. Motion, no, we don't, motion to approve amended resolution. Is that correct?
Motion to second reading for the amendment.
It's not a
It's not an amendment, it's not a,
It's an ordinance amending.
motion to move to second reading by title.
it's an ordinance?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yep, it is.
Here it is. Is that what you want to do?
Yes.
Second reading.
Okay.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes,
An ordinance amending Article 4 Wildlife Management, Section 28-75C3 of Chapter 28 Public Health regarding hunter education requirements for authorized managed deer hunts of the Code of Ordinances of the City of Warrensburg. This is for adoption or rejection. Osborne,
Yes.
Latari.
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Euler.
yes.
Thank you.
Thanks for holding your ground there, Chris. Item 8.3, an ordinance ratifying a contract of the Warrensburg Park Board with Lidle Construction, Inc. for the Warrensburg Community Center front desk and lobby area as specified in the city's scope of work and contractor's proposal submitted to the city of Warrensburg by the approved consulting contractors Warner, Neese, and Bost Architects, presented by Chris.
Thank you again, Mayor and City Council. As stated in the memo, as part of the 2024 and 25 budget was the redesign of the front desk and lobby area at the community center. The purpose of this facility renovation is for an improved greeting of our patrons, as well as an improved traffic flow and monitoring of participation at the community center. It also is important to mention that funding for this project includes $60,000 from the Marion H. Glazenbrook Estate, which funding was granted specifically for the improvements, future improvements for the community center. On this project, requests for qualifications were sent out for the design phase of this project, which had 4 applicants, and Warner, Neese, and Bost Architects were selected by the Park Board and then ratified by the City Council for this project. As the City Council will recall, a draft design of the front desk and lobby project was presented to the Park Board, committees, and Park Board for review, and also was shared at the joint meeting with the Park Board and City Council earlier this year. From those meetings, a final document and design was agreed upon by the Park Board, and a design construction bid document for this project was sent out to the public by city staff, and Warner, Neese, and Bost provided a plan review process, and there were 5 bids received for this project. The bids were open on October 2nd and reviewed by Warner Easton Bose and city staff. And for the bids listed in your memo, Lytle Construction Incorporated base bid of $339,945 and $34.50 unit price for any locker bottom replacement was chosen as the lowest and best bid for this project. The recommendation was presented to the Park Board, Administrative Committee, Building and Grounds Committee with approval and unanimously approved by the Park Board on October 7th. With the draft design estimated cost being higher than the original budget amount, the Park Board approved a level not to exceed $300,000 come from the Park Fund for this project, along with the current operating remaining amount that is there right now, $100,000. So it was not to exceed $400,000. Thus, the amount of $339,000 from Lytle Construction for this project is approximately $60,000 less than the $400,000 figure. Therefore, approving this contract will authorize the contract and expenditures as described, and a budget amendment would be presented reflecting the spending authorization and brought before the City Council in conjunction with the final review and reporting associated with the first quarter of 2026 fiscal year. As also approved by the Park Board this past July, 25% fund balance of operating funds annually would remain in the park fund balance. And I am pleased to report at this time, there's approximately 49% fund balance in the park fund. And with the approval of these expenditures this evening, there would be still approximately 40% fund balance in the park fund. There are still some year-end adjustments to be made that may affect this level slightly, but currently there is a $95,000 surplus in the operating fund for parks. So in conclusion, the Park Board requests approval ratifying the resolution authorizing a contract with Lytle Construction for the $339,945 base bid, $34.50 unit bid for sheet metal for locker bottom replacements as deemed necessary, and with 135 days projection on this completion. Right before questions, I would like to thank Jason Duffy, our Park Board President, for being here this evening, as well as Craig Brennan, who is the principal lead architect for Warner Easton Bose. And I'll be happy to answer any questions you may have.
I've got one quick clarification. The unit price for lockers, verbally you said $34.50, but the council letter says $35.50.
There's $34.50 in the resolution, I believe, and also in the ordinance.
Oh, yeah, I see the letter has both. The subject says $34.50 and then the list says $35.50.
I do see an error, sir, and no, it's in
It's
the memo.
minor in the overall scheme of things, but I
No,
just wanted to clarify.
Yes, but no, it's a good point. The $34.50 is the actual bid price from the contractor for that unit. And it's mentioned in the top of the resolution. It is also in the ordinance, but there was an error made on the list of bids. So, thank you.
There's a wide range of pricing on those lockers.
That was
amazing.
very intriguing.
Yeah.
I don't really
Yes,
understand
but
that.
you got a good price there, it looks like, so that's great. Any questions for Chris?
Just that I saw the document that said enumeration of drawings, and I was looking forward to seeing more drawings because it's very exciting to look at what it's gonna look like, but no questions. I'm just excited it's happening.
Motion to move to second reading by title only.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes,
An ordinance ratifying a contract of the Warrensburg Park Board with Lytle Construction, Inc. for the Warrensburg Community Center front desk and lobby area as specified in the city's scope of work and contractor's proposal submitted to the city of Warrensburg by the approved consulting contractors Warner, Neese, and Bost Architects. This is for adoption or rejection. Osborne,
Yes.
Latari,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
And Euler.
yes,
Thank you.
thanks, Chris.
Thank you.
Item 8.4. An ordinance accepting dedication of a utility easement for water services located along the south right-of-way of Hamilton Street as a permanent utility easement in the city of Warrensburg, presented by Phil Adledge.
Jason couldn't make it.
I could see that.
He chose not to come. Good evening, Mayor, City Council members. Missouri American Water is planning on extending a water main there along Hamilton Street. So from Mitchell heading east along Hamilton. In that area, there's some electrical utility, there's some stormwater utility they'd like to avoid, save them money. And so they requested a permanent easement, utility easement from us, and we have reviewed it. But then we found a slight error in their easement legal description. So we are coming to you this afternoon, evening to go ahead and approve the ordinance and contingency approve the, accept the permanent utility easement once they get it back to us. And that way they can go ahead and start moving on the first part of their water main.
So there was a scrivener's error in the legal description.
In the legal description, there was an error and it's inverted the triangle. So Barbara and Adam were the ones that found it, and
All credit goes to Barb for catching the flip. Because it clearly does describe the triangle. It describes the triangle upside down from what it's drawn as. I don't think that we can conditionally accept a legal description. So I would not suggest that we move forward with something that is, because to pass the ordinance, they have to pass the entirety of the ordinance. The legal description is attached to what they're passing. So
I'll have to bring it back when I get that.
yes,
Okay.
yes, I think, and then we've got plenty of time before the next meeting to get that done.
Right.
But this was a survey that was done by Missouri American Water and given to us. So it's the actual literal legal description in the survey that was the error. So that's what needs to get fixed, and we can fix that. We can fix that internally if we so choose to. But the actual legal description was not our creation, so.
So we won't take any action on this then tonight. All right.
Okay.
Great. Thanks,
Have to
Phil.
make a motion
You-
to do that.
Table it.
Table
Motion
it.
to table.
Yeah.
Motion to table.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Item 8.5, an ordinance amending chapter 20, article 4, division 3 of the Code of City Ordinances of the city of Warrensburg, Missouri regarding erosion and sediment control regulations, presented by Barbara Carroll, Director of Community Development.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. It's been a while since we talked about this general topic. A little over a year ago, there was a discussion at City Council. And staff worked with our legal counsel at that time, Mr. Harris, for a few months following that discussion and have continued those conversations. And now again, picked them up with Mr. Summer. This is an ordinance that amends Chapter 20, Article 4, Division 3, which was adopted originally, let's see, I'm gonna say in 2013. Thought I wrote that in the staff report somewhere. Yeah, in 2013, as part of a much larger ordinance concerning stormwater control regulations that were required of the city at that time by federal regulations. This amendment is a full repeal and replace of this division of that larger ordinance. The rest of that ordinance stays intact. This is just pertaining to this one piece of it. The one piece is pretty long, as you can see in your packet. And not all of it is being amended, but the gist of this Division 3 centers around a term used over and over and over, which is land disturbance and land disturbance permits. And we wanted to, as we began to address clean fill, make it clear that land disturbance includes fill. And so by ordinance, it already did that in section 20-102A, where it said permit required. No person or entity may clear, grub, grade, fill, excavate, store, stockpile, transport, or dispose of earth materials, et cetera, et cetera. But that's the only place it really said fill in a very long ordinance. And so we wanted to shine more of a light on that. And some aspects of fill activity are different than land disturbance and moving earth. And so we've carved out its own permit to be called a clean fill permit for fill activity and incorporated those requirements in this division now. So in doing that, we also took the opportunity to, where we could, streamline it. And so some portions of the ordinance moved around and other sections, even though the words didn't change a lot, the structure changed some. So you have in your packet both a clean copy of the ordinance as presented to you this evening and a red line version. And in the red line version, it's more easy to see all the changes that were made. And we've highlighted those changes in the staff report. I'm not going to cover all of the changes, but a lot of them you can see are definitional, where we're adding the words clean fill near the words land disturbance. The substance is more in that clean fill permit requirements and the time requirements associated with that. And you see those in section 20-102.1. That's where a lot of the substance and the timelines exist. Prior to getting to that, I do want to say, for those who aren't looking at the ordinance, there are some activities you could do, both land disturbance and clean fill, that don't require a permit. And the ordinance also clarifies what those are. But you know, you get to work in your yard and have a garden and put up a fence and things like that without needing a land disturbance or clean fill permit. So there are, those are listed so that general homeowners can go about maintaining their properties without needing those permits. When we look then at that section with the clean fill requirements, I am gonna cover this. This is in the staff report, the general timelines that you would need a permit if you're doing more than 1 acre of fill. And that would include if you're doing a smaller piece, but there's going to be another piece and another piece and another piece, and all those pieces together are going to add up to more than 1 acre.
Okay.
Then you're going to need a clean fill permit. And if it's over 1 acre, then you're required to have the professionally done site plan and the stormwater management plan and the SWIP, the stormwater pollution prevention plan. So all those would be submitted with an application. Once an application is approved and you have a permitted site, it could receive clean fill for up to 5 years without needing to get another permit. At 180 days, if you don't take any fill for over 180 days, you're going to become an inactive clean fill site. And once becoming inactive, then you would have 2 choices. Either smooth, grade, and seed and straw, or install sod and be done with it, or install landscaping around the perimeter of the site per an approved plan. If you want to continue, you don't want to do that. You want to keep it as a clean fill permit and a clean fill site, then you would need, but it's gone inactive. So it went inactive at 180 days. And let's say Let's see, that's, let's say day 300, you're like, oh, I want to get a load of, I want to get a load in there. And that's when you realized you went inactive. Then a new clean fill permit must be applied for, and the landscaping and screening installed around the perimeter of the site 30 days from the date of issuance of the permit. So going inactive doesn't reset your clock on landscape requirements. You're not buying more time by going inactive and getting a new permit and getting another 180 days. You only get 30 more days. Let's say you continue being active. You've never gone in, you're regularly getting fill in there. You've never gone inactive. At 18 months, you would again, even an active site at 18 months is required to do the landscape requirements. At that point, then you're good to go for 5 years. So you hit the 18 months, you put the landscape requirement up, you've been continuously receiving fill, you hit the 5-year mark. At the 5-year mark, your permit will expire. If you want to or need to continue getting fill at that point, then you apply for a new clean fill permit. And that will require, again, a new stormwater management plan, because the conditions, the topography has presumably changed in those 5 years. And so the assumptions of that report have changed. And then new SWIP, new site plan, et cetera. And then again, you'd have another 5 years. So, and in that case, your landscaping's already installed. So that's good news. So that's the gist of the new requirements for the clean fill. We really didn't change much in terms of enforcement, liability, the performance guarantee, the penalties. Though if you look at those sections, very little change there, just references to clean fill were added. We do propose, upon approval, that, or if approved, that it go effective January 1 of 2026. That will give people with current sites time to get their applications and plans prepared in order to be able to have a permit by January 1. Those permits will run through our regular permitting process and be processed through the Public Works Department. I think I will stop there and see if there's any questions.
First of all, thank you for defining clean fill, because I wondered what that was.
Yeah, we appreciate the hard work
Yeah,
put into
that's-
this.
that
It's
is
been,
a lot.
took a year. I mean,
It has
Yeah.
taken, I think we've been working on permits since you got here.
Yeah, before I-
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But I mean, we've been working, yeah.
Right.
My staff was drafting it through just, I'd say November, December, January, and then passed it off to Phil and Mike and I in probably March or April.
Do you know about how many such sites there are within city limits? I mean, I'm sure that
I
changes
would
all the time.
say, to my knowledge, you have about a handful.
Less than 10, probably.
I would think less than 10 that I know of. There could be smaller projects on streets I'm not aware of, but that may get reported. But yeah, I feel like it's about 5.
And the number of days, is that just regular days or is that business days?
Regular days. So in this, in Missouri, anything over 15 days are regular days. If the
Gotcha.
time period is less than 15 days, then it's only weekdays.
Gotcha.
So these will be all days.
And I think you talked about this, but could you please explain again the difference between, sorry, I'm in the wrong document, in the letter, the council letter. You talk about the difference between 270 days. Sorry, it's all the way towards the end, number 10.
So we wanted to try to give some incentive for a current site to voluntarily comply.
Hmm.
And so if they do that, And then the 180 for going inactive would become 270 for them, for the first
For the first iteration.
iteration.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Okay, okay. And I have to talk about the trees. You probably
About the
saw that
what?
coming, the trees.
Oh, okay.
So thank you for putting that in there. That makes a lot of sense. And I am wondering, are we able to specify native non-invasives for the trees? And I know that there are some trees that are now thankfully, one of the good things that I think our legislature did was outlaw the sale of invasives like Bradford and Calorie pears. But are we able to say that they need to be native evergreens, which there are actually a few, and native deciduous trees?
You would want to specify that in this ordinance, an amendment to the ordinance.
I would. Native, comma, non-invasive. Because I know they're gonna try to choose the least expensive trees probably, and that would probably mean trees that weren't gonna make it very long, but a native non-invasive tree has a much higher likelihood of actually surviving, at least for a while, until the property is maybe, developed in some other way and those trees come out. So it's sorry, in section 20-102. And then point. What is that, F?
Yeah.
Yeah, F2 and F3,
Mhm.
is that,
And F4.
they show up in 4 also?
And the caliper, again, I really appreciate that because the evergreen trees being at least 6 feet high, again, much more likely that they will actually survive for a while than just little saplings. A deciduous tree that's 2 or 3 inches, caliper at 6 inches could be any kind of species. And if it's a native non-invasive, there are lots of options. They could be smaller trees like red buds. They could be oak. I don't know if it makes sense to try and think about, what will the height and spread be at maturity? Because simply planting a tree, it may or may not do what the intention of this is that over time it actually fills in and hides some of the construction. But if the intention is that they're really there, sort of a temporary screen, then we may not need to worry about how big and how wide those deciduous trees especially eventually will get. Because it could be anywhere from 15 feet to 60 or 80 feet high and wide, depending on the kind of tree. Again, the dogwood versus a bur oak, really different. And again, I don't know if it's necessary to think about that, but just saying deciduous tree could be so many different kinds and heights spread. So I guess my question is the intention that these trees actually provide screening? Or is it more about erosion control?
And I think it is for screening. I don't think it is necessarily going to be the final landscaping of that site
Right.
when developed.
Right.
There are going to be some cases where that person is going to know the end user and they're going to be able to know from day one what to do in landscaping that'll survive through development and be desired post-development, because there are post-development screening requirements as well. And so I'm certain they and the city would like them to be the same set of trees. But there are going to be a lot of cases where we don't know the end user, they don't know the end user. And so there may be trees planted that are in the wrong place
Right.
in
for
year
what they need.
15,
Sure.
and it does get removed.
Yeah, for sure.
So I think they are more for screening while it's a fill site
Gotcha.
or in between fill and development.
Makes sense.
We did this. This is a section, the screening requirements, I took from, can't remember if it was Olathe or Overland Park. Because from a staff enforcement standpoint and an approval standpoint, this type of requirement is different than what is in our current parking ordinance for tree and parking screening requirements. We find that hard for designers to understand and hard for staff to enforce. And so this language differs from that. It should be far easier to understand, as well as, so therefore design, as well as us to approve and be able to inspect when we're out there. The parking requirement ones is based on an opacity level. And there are workarounds to that.
Yeah.
And we don't always, in my opinion, get a product that maybe meets the original intent. And so this wouldn't allow you to bunch them all in one corner. You're gonna have to spread them out all down the perimeter. And by having them larger at installation, because I think they may not be 40-year trees.
Yeah. more
They
than
may
likely
be
not.
15 or 10-year trees.
If we're lucky.
Where our goal is to get these sites to a point they can be developed, and be a buildable site where we can bring in a new business, or expand an existing one. And so, having a younger tree that maybe that is bigger now, what's our preference?
Yeah, yeah. I get that. Okay, well, then I'm not gonna be worried about the caliper then and what species it is, but do you feel like requiring that it be a native, non-invasive is an undue burden on developers?
I don't buy enough trees to know what that does on pricing. I've never personally purchased a tree, so I don't know how that, I don't know what's on the market, how many, how much that limits. I don't know.
I know Missouri Department of Conservation publishes a list of what they would consider non-native and invasive trees. And
Yeah.
vice versa.
And the Warrensburg Tree Board, which is now subsumed under the Energy and Sustainability Task Force, has that list. You might remember when you were our staff liaison to that, we've got a list of recommended trees and some to avoid as well. But Missouri Department of Conservation is gonna have that more up to date, so. That would be my one request, is that we make that change, unless someone else feels like that's onerous.
No, I'm gonna ask council a question though. Could we vote on this ordinance and then come back with?
Sure, and the reason that this is different than the last issue is that for this particular one, this could be done in the form of a motion as an amendment, a very simple amendment to either add it to the sections or to add a part 6 to that F part that we were looking at that says any and all trees will be compliant with the Missouri Department of Conservation native species list.
I would like to propose that. That seems simpler.
I would like to change the timing.
Well, so I think there's a motion now.
So that's a motion.
It's a motion.
Yeah.
I'm making
Okay.
the motion that we add number 6. As per our council's suggestion, that verbiage of any and all trees will be in compliance with the Missouri Department of Conservation native trees list.
Does that need a second? Yeah. Do we need a second?
Yeah.
A second?
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I was gonna ask that 11 to 10 instead of make it 10 instead.
10.
Yeah.
Section 20-102-1. It says B through E, but this is number I. The time,
Section 5 dash. No, 2 dash.
-1, B through E. But it's letter I.
Yeah, that section that talks about B through E really is just talking about.
Time that,
portion,
Time that you can work on the site from 7 to, it says 7 to 11 PM. 7 AM to 11 PM. I think that needs to be 10 PM. That's kind of when you have to stop having a party, and that should also be the time that you stop driving up and down the streets with big trucks making lots of noise.
Current requirement is 11. Our noise ordinance is 11.
It's 11? You can party until 11?
Mhm. You can have a different time here, but we picked 11 because that is. what
Okay,
others-
I thought it was 10. So that's why, that's the only reason I'm saying 10.
Actively verifying that.
Okay, somebody check me on that.
Seven and 11, those are
Okay.
the same that we use in our
Okay,
noise ordinance, yes.
Good try.
yep, we need to be consistent.
Unless it's a steam whistle and then it's 10 PM. for steam.
Unless-
I know.
Correct, unless
It is
the-
10 PM for steam whistle.
So many steam.
Steam whistle.
Locomotive, steam engine.
Oh, a steam engine. I don't think we have any of those. And then I did have a question on whether or not some of our developers or builders have seen this. Was it sent to them or
No, it
emailed to
was
them?
not sent to them. You do have the option, as we stated in the staff report, if you want to just do it for first reading. They would have the opportunity to see it.
Get it out so that they can look it over and have an opportunity to come back. Maybe we have an opportunity for them to have a comment period.
I
This
think
is
that
gonna
seems fair.
affect the developers, people.
Is there urgency? Is there a deadline or anything that we're trying to meet or get ahead of?
Staff doesn't have one, no.
Still scheduled to go in effect if we pass this January 1st.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, if it takes us 3 months to approve it, I think we would want to change that effective
Right.
deadline as well. So we'll just gauge that as it goes through the process.
I guess I'm trying to avoid people that are developing property, moving dirt around, are in the process of doing things that this isn't a surprise to them. I know we can't necessarily guarantee that we would reach everybody that is in the process or thinking about doing something like this, moving dirt around, what did you call it, land disturbance? But we can make an attempt to, the ones that we know.
Right, so they already know about land disturbance permits.
Okay.
And we issue those every week. So like your subdivisions, they have those already.
Okay.
But the ones that it's the projects that haven't come and talked to us at all that don't know any, right? Like they don't know. And I don't know who's thinking about doing something, but so that's the gap is I'm sure there are people thinking of doing something. I don't know.
But we don't know that.
And that's who doesn't know. So, if the paper carries it, if it's in our, the council minute, whatever on Facebook.
But
Hopefully
for
they'll see
example, the
it.
folks who are currently doing clean fill won't know about this until when?
So like the property that's that's being worked on right now along Russell Avenue, did they have to come and get a permit to do that?
One on the south side, Earthworks excavation, they have a land disturbance permit.
And on the north side? Did they
Colson
have
had
to?
land disturbance permit, yes.
Okay, so they knew they had to come in and get something. Okay.
So when would each of those folks though know about these new updated standards?
We typically
No.
don't consider that it is their burden to know those standards. You're mostly talking about commercial operators. So when they pull permits, they're typically going to be doing that. If somebody were to come into, for example, if they were to violate this and get a municipal ticket and come in and say, well, I didn't know about the standards, the judge's answer would almost certainly be they were available to read. As you see, I was fact checking this in real time with
Yes.
ordinances, right?
Yes,
So it's,
yes.
it's all very accessible from that standpoint. The concern is valid in terms of making sure they know, hey, we're making a change to this process. But in terms of reaching people who might be impacted by this process, it is certainly, their burden to make sure that when they go and turn dirt in city limits, that they've checked all their boxes before they do that.
I guess
Okay.
my question, I think is similar to yours is though. When will the folks who are currently doing clean fill, when will they have to start planting trees or?
On a new so if they have a current permit, their current permit is on the current ordinances.
Gotcha. Thank you.
Yeah,
That's
so we would not retroactively
Right.
apply the law to past
okay.
projects.
Thank you.
Okay.
That was the question I was
Okay.
trying to ask. Thank you for helping me ask it.
That makes sense, yeah.
Okay.
And I understand what you're saying, so I think and I understand what you just explained, so I think I kind of need to withdraw my concern.
Okay.
Because if they come in to get a land disturbance, then they're going to get
This is gonna
that
be
plus
there.
this, and this is gonna be
Right,
new.
depending on what work they're doing, they might need both.
Right, right. Okay, yeah, I'm good.
Shane, said you.
So no public comment, is that what you're?
I'm good with doing just the first reading and waiting until the next meeting to do the second reading to give people the opportunity to maybe have a comment or
I apologize, I was thinking
Was it-
of purposely putting a public comment just for the second reading. Is that what we're asking? Is that
It
what
is
she
completely at the
asked?
discretion of the council, how you would like to proceed. You could do first and second reading tonight. You could choose to do first reading tonight, second reading, and allow for, the word to get out further, or you could instruct staff, we want to do first reading tonight, second reading at an upcoming meeting, and proactively seek out known developers and make them aware.
Okay, do you want to do first reading tonight? And then at the next scheduled meeting that we have, we can do a second reading, and then it'll be one of the agenda items
it'll
again.
be an agenda item again
Yeah.
for the second reading. And we can't know, like Barb said, who's thinking about doing anything, because we don't know what anybody's thinking.
Nope.
But we hope that they are paying attention to city council agendas and reading them. Yeah.
That's their burden,
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm good with
they're
that.
told, so,
Yeah.
okay.
Great. But no public comment period at the next meeting, or yes, comment period specific to this.
I feel like everyone's looking at me, but again, that is your discretion as the governing body, how you would like to proceed.
What would you like to do? Second public comment?
Let's put a public,
Yeah.
the opportunity for public comment,
I'm in
and
favor
they'll
of
either
that.
come and comment or they won't.
So Councilperson Jones, are you making a motion to
Yes.
table the second reading for the purposes of second reading at the next meeting with specific public comment section?
Yes, sir, that's what I want.
Okay, that's what I heard.
That's exactly what she was.
That's what I heard.
Thank you so much.
It's almost like you do that for
Yes.
a living.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you, Jan. I agree.
Thank you, Barb, for all the work on this.
Yeah.
I know this was
Appreciate
not
that, and
an easy.
Adam and everybody.
And your
Yes.
patience with our questions. Much
Yes.
Appreciated.
Item 8.4. An ordinance approving and accepting the minor plat of Boulder Homes Estates, a subdivision in the city of Warrensburg, Missouri, located at 411 and 411B North Charles Street, presented by Barbara Carroll, Director of Community Development.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. We also have with us this evening, the applicant, Darren Baldwin, is here on behalf of Boulder Homes LLC. So if I don't cover everything, feel free to ask Darren questions. This is on North Charles Street, and it's on the east side of the street. There is this is a minor plat. There's an existing one lot that they would like to divide into two lots. On the north lot of the two new lots, the north one has a single family house on it now that they have rehabbed in the last year, and that house would remain. The other lot on the south side, which is lot 2, I think.
Mhm.
Lot 2, they would like to build a single family house on. And we've had a few of these over the last couple years. The current parcel, the current lot is 100 feet wide. And if they divide it into two lots, each new lot would be 50 feet wide. And both our subdivision regulations in chapter 21 and our zoning regulations in chapter 27, because this is in an R2 district, would require the lots be 60 feet wide. And they don't have 60 feet of width. And so they have asked for, with approval of the plat, an exception to that requirement in the zoning ordinance to be allowed to have two 50-foot wide lots. These lots have the proper depth as well as the minimum lot size of 7,000 square feet for a single family home. So it's just the lot width requirement that they're not able to meet. Since that ordinance is in both chapters, or requirement is in both chapters, the Board of Adjustment can grant a variance to chapter 27, but not to chapter 21. And the Planning Commission and the Council can approve an exception to chapter 21. So earlier this year, they went through the Board of Adjustment process, and the board did grant a variance to allow 50-foot wide lots. So then they proceeded to finalize and develop the plat. They've made all the other changes the staff has requested, except for two minor ones that still need to be made. Staff is recommending, and the Planning and Zoning Commission recommended approval of this plat with those two conditions that be corrected. They are in your ordinance. To show the major surrounding streets on the vicinity map and to remove the E from the East North Street label, because we don't want to rename North Street, East North Street. And then to approve that exception implicit with the approval of the plat. So staff is recommending that. Planning and Zoning Commission recommended that at their meeting last week. We would be happy to answer any questions that you have.
Glad to see new houses come up.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
house
that's great.
Darren, thanks for a long wait here.
Yeah,
Sorry
the
about
house
that.
they
We're here too.
rehab looks great.
Yeah, infill is great. It's great to see more.
No,
Mhm.
no, any questions though?
Nope.
No, none, thank you.
Motion to move to second reading by title only.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari.
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
Yes,
An ordinance approving and accepting the minor plan of Boulder Homes Estates, a subdivision in the city of Warrensburg, Missouri, located at 411 and 411B North Charles Street. This is for adoption or rejection. Osborne,
Yes.
Latari,
Yes.
Jones.
Yes.
Euler.
yes,
Thank you.
thank you. Moving right along. Item 9.1, mayoral recommendations. Motion to approve mayoral recommendations for the following appointments. A, reappoint Jennifer Fowler as a member for the Diversity and Inclusion Commission for a 3-year first term through October 2028. B, reappoint Elijah Simmons as a member for the Diversity and Inclusion Commission for a 3-year first term through October 2028. And reappoint Anahi Primgard as a member for the Diversity and Inclusion Commission for a 3-year first term through October 2028.
Do they have term limits?
Yes.
They filled unexpired terms initially, and so
Oh.
that's why they're coming up again so quickly.
Okay. Motion to approve recommendations of appointments.
Osborne,
Yes.
Latari,
Yes.
Jones,
Yes.
Euler.
Yes.
Thank you.
Item 10, appearances to the council not listed on the agenda. Thank you. Tom, you've been waiting all this time. Tom Rule, if you come up, give us your name and address, please.
You see me and you know that I just sit around and listen because I wonder what's going on. And I want to thank Barbara for your new amendment. It doesn't mess with my garden work or with minor landscaping with a shovel and a bucket. So I can do that. That's good. 3 minutes.
Yeah.
3 minutes.
3 minutes. So I have concerns about the erosion of individual privacy. And, I looked at on the agenda, we talked flock. Well, it turns out that that's not about controlling migratory geese. It has to do with your license breeder program. And I understand why it would be valuable to the police department. It makes sense. You can check up on things. My concern is that there will be a record. It may not be very long. I don't know how long you keep the films, but 60, 90, 180 days, some before it goes away. And I don't trust the current federal administration. They seem to run roughshod over rules and regulations. And where they go to enforce things, if they use the police departments or the Army or National Guard, those are all trained entities and they follow the rules pretty much. The ICE organization, they don't have quite the training. They run roughshod over things. And I worry that at some time, they will come and decide they want to use your records. And they won't be polite about it. And they'll come in and they'll take their records because they want to do something like, they've gone to the Department of Licensing. They know every person with an Arab name that owns a vehicle, and they want to track their behavior. Because who knows, they might be terrorists and they might drive and meet someplace. And so if we track them, it's possible that we can stop something bad from happening. Your license readers are a minor thing, a minor player. If I were to vote at the council, I'd say no. We aren't doing it. We aren't going to participate in the game. But you could also use it. On the other hand, I appreciate that the council approved the purchase of all the safety equipment for the police department. And I'm glad that you wear your vest. I know there was a time I used to wear a flak jacket. I felt better, so I sort of had it on. So anyway, that's my comment. I just have a concern about the erosion of privacy, and every little bit adds in. This council, this police fire department, they aren't going to abuse the system. But we don't know what's going to happen 5, 10 years from now. There'll be different people in place. And who knows what's going to happen with our federal system. Thank you for your time.
Thanks, Tom.
Thank you.
City staff updates, city manager report.
Thank you, Mayor and Council.
Actually, didn't you miss the miscellaneous matters from mayor?
Oh,
or council?
miscellaneous matters from the mayor and or city council. Do you have a miscellaneous matter? No, sorry.
Just so we did.
Well, I thought
Yeah.
maybe
Appreciate
You should.
Item 12, city staff update, city manager report.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. The mayor does a really good job of acknowledging others and what they've done. So I wanted to acknowledge the mayor sat on a panel this week or last week, I guess it was, for the chamber titled Coffee and Concerns. And so he wasn't the focal point as much as our statewide elected officials, but he did a great job of representing the city and not only fielding questions, but kind of getting the city's perspective out there. So I appreciate that. You may or may not be aware, we have a tradition of having a employee meeting with the city manager and department heads annually, somewhat in conjunction with adoption of the budgets. We had that last week. It was open to all city employees as voluntarily if they wanted to attend. And I didn't take a head count, but there was a good turnout there. And then I will be meeting with individual departments and or shifts within those departments in the next couple of weeks. Had the first one today with a fire department shift, meeting with a shift change with the police department in the morning. We're just kind of work our way through all the other employees. So those meetings, a little bit of a recap of what was covered at that employee meeting in case they weren't there, but more so an opportunity for questions and answers in a little bit more comfortable format. And also then being able to go into detail with them, what's going on with their department with respect to the budget that was passed and the comprehensive financial plan. So exciting things going on, but also kind of having frank conversations about the pay plan and the general fund challenges that we're still facing and just trying to be transparent and give them that information. Did want to share with you that I will be attending the City Managers Association Conference and we're leaving next week. Jessica Venverlo will also be attending. Kristen Dorman will be on maternity leave by then. And so we have intentionally tried to work agenda items around to not need a October 27th city council meeting. So next meeting, unless something comes up that's urgent between now and the 27th, the next meeting will be November 10th. And then I will also be out Thursday, November 6th and Friday, November 7th and returning on that Sunday. And I'll get an email out to you with with more specifics about my calendar and some of the times I'll be out of office. But there's a lot of exciting stuff going on the street side, but I won't steal Phil's thunder and I'll be happy to answer any questions if you have any.
Thanks for having those meetings.
Yeah, it's a good opportunity.
Yes. Very helpful. Thank you. City staff update, assistant city manager.
I believe she's zooming in
Oh.
and said she would unmute, but I'm not going to put her on the spot. I'm not aware of anything that she needs to.
Hi, Kristen.
Kristen Dorman.
Hi, all. Nothing
Hello.
tonight. Thank you.
You're on.
I don't know that she has anything to
Oh,
report. She's just
okay.
kind of
We love that.
monitoring our activity.
Okay, thank you, Kristen. Hope you're doing well. City staff update. City clerk.
Thank you, Mayor and City Council. I don't have a report tonight. Thank you.
Thank you. City staff update, community development.
Nothing additional.
Okay, city staff update, fire department.
Good evening. In the packet is the September activity report. Just I always like to point out a couple things. Overlapping calls, so the time 2 or more calls are going on at the same time. It's up quite a bit this year, so 105 more times at this point, or now than at the same point last year. Total incident response is up about 100 calls. Our response time compliance at 4.5 minutes has dropped at that 59% of the time as opposed to 63% last year at the same time. Just kind of that call volume. Another thing we broke, the fire loss. So any property subjected to fire, we take the value of that building. So we broke the 11 million mark in September with fire loss. So we take that same calculation and what was damaged by the fire right at $1 million. So about 10 million difference there. Typically it will cost more to replace everything by the time, but that's the gauge we have. So happy to answer any questions you have.
Keep up the good work. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.
City staff update, Parks and Recreation Department.
No, thank you.
Thank you. City staff update, Police Department.
make this fairly brief since you.
We appreciate that.
No, I'm just kidding. So we've had quite a few officers on some personal leave, medical leave as well. So we've been dealing with that. But last week we had sent 8 officers to SWAT training in Camp Dodge out in Iowa. This training used to be free for room and board. We've been doing this for approximately 8 to 10 years now. It has now totaled a total of is approximately $4,016 to send all 8 of them. It came out to about 502 per officer to send them to it. Really good training for them. And they ate sack lunches for lunch and had a decent meal at night. So I don't really feel like they were gouging the city for food or anything
That's a
like that.
great
So I'm
value.
pretty proud of them on that aspect, but it's about $53 room per officer per night since they started charging that. So that's pretty reasonable as well. So it was free though at one time. That was kind of nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We started having a budget for that. I think it was about 3 or 4 years ago they started charging. So
I'm glad they could go.
yeah, it was great training for them. Just mainly keeping the community safe. I mean, they got to stay up on that training. So everybody does. Thanks. Have a good evening.
Thank
Thank you. Yep. We all support training for any department. Absolutely.
For sure.
City staff update, Public Works Department.
Evening, Mayor, City Council members, again. Like Mike was mentioning, there's lots going on. I don't know if you all were out last Friday, Saturday, was lots of roads closed.
Yeah.
Lots going on. So, the bridge work, the railroad bridge on McGuire has been milled off by contractors. The city street department came in, they did the concrete work, exposed a lot of stuff and repaired it. Then we had the contractors come back in and mill it. So it is done and it's gonna look good once all of it's done, but we're working there. As you might be aware, Broad Street to Gay Street has had its 7 inches of super pave. It's had the compaction done on the base, the super pave on it. And now, of course, they're moved from Gay to North Street. They've got one side so that we can keep those businesses as accessible as possible. So we're trying to, keep Sonic open and the other businesses open as well. So we're hoping to get the west side done this week and start on the east side of that area. And then after that, we're going to jump up to Emerson, to Ferguson. So, yes, it's moving along.
It's moving along.
Yeah, it's
very
moving along.
exciting.
It's coming along well, so. Then, of course, the final phase, if you'll remember, is it's gonna be a 2-inch overlay down the whole thing. So it's gonna, again, shut down a little bit, but actually go pretty fast.
Is that the same material, the super pave, same
Yeah,
stuff?
it'd be same.
Just-
It's, so right now, the 7 inches is more of a base, bigger rock. And then the 2 inches is gonna be a super pave, but it's gonna be a smaller
Gotcha.
aggregate. So
Gotcha.
it's gonna be a smoother ride. So
Excellent.
right now,
It's pretty nice
It's
right now.
wonderful.
nice,
It's very
but it's
nice.
gonna be a smaller aggregate, which is gonna make it even smoother. Of course, with McGuire, we decided, thanks to Mike, we decided to throw in a lot of streets to
Side
get
streets,
milled
yeah.
and overlaid and. In the report there's a ton of streets that have already been completed. I'm not gonna read them all. Because there's a good portion. But then the parts that haven't on tomorrow, because today was a holiday. Tomorrow, they're gonna come in, they're going to work on Hawthorne, start working on paving Hawthorne from PCA all the way to the roundabout. And they're gonna start milling Warren, South McGuire, Young, Holden, Russell, Gay, and the little terrace at McGuire. So you're gonna see a lot more detours, a lot more road closures. I do believe that we have communicated with the, we've talked with is someone doing night work?
Yeah.
On certain,
Milling crew will be doing night work
yeah,
on some of the streets.
on some of the streets, they will be doing it in the evening.
Contract.
To not have so many detours and
Wow, that's great.
issues. So the contractors have been great and they've worked with us very well on a lot of that. So In here, the original list that we proposed beginning was 2.25 miles. With the additional streets of 2.5 miles, we're gonna get 4.75 miles done this year.
Wow.
So it's
Fantastic.
a lot of streets being done. Cedar Court update, we've sent out the award to J.C. Myers on October 2nd. They have a little bit of time to get back all the signed documents and the stuff that we need from them. And as soon as we get all that, Public Works is gonna communicate with them and we're gonna get started. Of course, Public Works will be doing the one ripping out the street. J.C. Myers is coming back and putting it up. So it's lots going on. Of course, we're still planning on the next year's. We've got lots of streets. We have communicated with the contractor for the mill and overlay from this year. And staff is going to be bringing back a proposal to extend this contract into next year so that we're first on their list. And they're going to pretty much do it at this year's cost, depending on the asphalt concrete index, that if it goes up or down, you will be either paying a little bit, cover it or compensated. So
That's great news.
And when does it says, early next season, when does the street season start?
it all depends on when the cold weather breaks, when the snow
Like
stops.
April, May?
What's about average? May?
Yeah, I mean, April, 40 degrees and rising is what they kind of recommend.
Okay.
So it depends on the weather.
Yeah.
It's all weather.
All
Whatever
weather
Mother Nature
driven.
decides.
One thing I didn't include in here, I didn't think about it, plant expansion. Knock on wood, it's going very well. We've had minimal issues and they're moving. If you drive out, see a big pile of dirt,
Yeah.
so.
That's
Lots of
good
stuff is
sign.
going on.
Quick question, and it's maybe Mike knows, but I've heard MoDOT is about to finish that west entrance out there on the end of this month. Is that right?
I haven't heard anything specifically. We do have a standing meeting with MoDOT in the county, so hope to learn more the next time that we meet. But they gave us, that was supposed to be done sooner than the rest of the project. And my recollection was the entirety of the J-turns was late November, early December. I don't know. The
At
specific-
commissioners the other day, they told me they thought it was October 28th that would be open out there.
They're pouring a lot of concrete out there.
Yeah.
So then, as soon as that's done, then are they doing the east portion of business?
East
Fifth.
portion.
East, we're talking about business 50, right?
Yeah, off of 50 highway.
50 highway,
Mhm.
50,
50.
Yeah,
business
Not,
50.
not business 50, 50 highway.
Well,
I'm talking about the entrance to business 50. Wait a minute.
Well, this is,
We're
I'm talking about Carlisle's out
Right,
there. that
on,
way.
Yes.
on the west end, that is part of the project. I'm not sure that they proposed anything on the east.
On the
end.
east side, the.
I
to
thought
go-
they were gonna do the west and the east.
No, I don't think so.
I
Okay.
haven't seen anything.
I had
So what they're
before-
doing on the west is like an acceleration lane and some other crazy things.
Well, yeah, they're getting away from the cut straight cost. So it's gonna be,
It'll be a J-turn.
yeah, it's basically gonna be a J.
No. I would need to go back and check my notes. I don't want to start any inaccurate
think they were
rumors
gonna
because
do
there's
a
a lot of
J-turn.
conversation about whether you could make, what turn movements you can make out of the business 50 entrance on the west side. And I'd have to go back and look to verify where that ended up. I know.
I thought that they were not gonna make that a J turn because if they did, they'd have to put people up on the
Right, their plans changed and I can't say with confidence off the top of my head where it landed.
Last design, the way it looks like, it's gonna lay out is, you'll be able to get off of Business 50 and go east. You'd be able to cross over to go west and you'd be able to exit off eastbound onto Business 50. But you won't be able to get off of 50 highway at Business 50 West if you're going westbound. So if you're heading towards
Mhm.
Centerview, you won't be able to left off and cross over.
Gotcha.
okay, but they're not gonna put the people up on the 13 bridge as part of the J turn.
Yeah, at one point, it looked like they were, but then they went to the plan that the chief just described.
Okay, and they're still not going to turn, is it 151 at Lots Beaches? They're gonna leave that one alone? Or are they messing with that one too? You know, where you cross,
To be safe, to answer those questions, I would need to track down the MoDOT plans and
okay.
get you those answers, because I certainly don't
Because I
want to
thought they
give
weren't
bad
gonna
information.
mess with that one, because it sits up high and good view.
They are making countless changes to countless crossings. I just don't know off the top of my head the specifics of each of them.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, I have one quick question. Why are we still ahead of schedule?
If they continue moving the way they are and barring any
The
weather.
weather holds, yeah.
So, yes, they're
Okay.
projecting that they'll be done, well, and also the lights. So roads might be done, but then the signal lights are also holding us up. It might get that done at the end.
And just as a clarification on the lights, the existing lights will stay in place and be functioning. They'll do all the work that they can in proximity to the lights. And then when the poles come in and the equipment comes in, they'll make a switch over.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thanks, Phil.
And you still think that's
Thank you,
gonna be all gonna be done, including the lights, by the end of December?
Yes.
But it could be done earlier.
It could be done earlier, but it could also go
Not,
a little bit past just for the lights.
Because of the lights, but not the paving. I think if people can
Right.
go up and down, they're gonna be happy.
they're gonna be
Yes, they're gonna be happy.
hollering out their cars.
Thank you.
Thank you.
City staff update, and because your department starts with a W, you're last. Marcy, you'd like to come up front, please?
Nothing additional.
Oh, God.
Thank you.
All right. Then we stand adjourned. Thank you.